Hi everyone, we have today round 12 of Fide World Rabbit teams. We saw Vishy Anand playing e4 and waiting for his opponent. He is IM from Madagascar. Name is Fy. Vishy started with e4 and he responded by e5, knight f3 by Vishy Anand, and knight c6 by Fy, bishop b5, López. Fy responds by e6 and Anand bishop e4, and we have e6 now. Morphy defense. Castled by Vishy Anand, and now what? Bishop g4, pinning the knight. Try to kicking the bishop, but I think now he can play h5. h5 by Fy. Interesting move. Vishy thinking, and he play d4 because he cannot take the bishop. Now we have b5, bishop b3, and now he can take the pawn. He took the pawn on d4, and now Anand he can take the bishop, h take pawn, and I think the knight can go to h5, and now we have knight h6. Interesting variation. Now what to do? We have f4 by Vishy Anand, nine minutes for Fy and 13 minutes for Vishy Anand. Pawn takes pawn. What to take with knight or rook? And rook take on f3. If he took the rook, then pressure on f7. Now we have d5 by Fy, and we have rook h3 by Vishy Anand. Covering the file h for the king. Now we have bishop on c5 and king h1. Queen d7, preparing for long castle maybe. Good move. And we have knight f3. Long castle or what? The move? No, he played knight. Very, very dangerous move. Knight h4, and he left his rook. Double rook. He sacrificing double rook, but he want to go to f2 by check, fork the queen. So Anand take the rook with check, and we have queen e7. If he take the another rook, then knight f2 check. Now we have bishop g5 check, and we have f6 by Fy. So rook h7. Also he can take the queen if you check from f2. Now check from f2, and queen going to h2. And the best move rook h8, but he didn't find. He took the bishop on g5. Better for Anand to take that knight on d4. Queen e1 by Vishy Anand, and the position now equal. But very dangerous. Knight on g4 check. Queen running to g3. And now there is interesting move, knight f5 check, and then bishop f2 check, winning the queen. But he didn't find, he play instead running with his queen to d6, and we have now knight b d2, knight take bishop on b3, and a take knight, and now bishop f2 check, winning the queen, but for rook and knight and bishop. g4, knight coming to h4. We have rook and two knights facing a queen, and this is, I think, enough compensation. Now king to c6, good move. King e2 by Vishy Anand, and king b7. Knight f5, good move. D takes e4, and the queen e2, the king e2. Now the king is safe, and we have a queen d4 by 5. Rook take g7, and we have rook on d8 and rook on d1, protecting the knight on d2, and queen take b2. Now there is a very excellent move by Vishy Anand, knight d on c4, attacking the rook and the queen simultaneously. Now what to do? And now winning for white. He took the knight, and rook takes rook, and then he took pawn on b3, and rook became for rook d on d7 now, attacking the c7 pawn. He cannot protect, and now very easy winning, I think, for Vishy Anand. Now pawn take pawn, and rook take pawn with check. King goes to b8, and then what to do? He can take the pawn on c2. Yes, he took the pawn with rook, and the queen escaped to b5. Then with check, then king f2. Queen b6 by 5, and rook takes on g4. And he resigned, Fy resigned, and Vishy Anand won the game. A very nice game back for Vishy Anand. Thank you for watching. Don't forget like, share, and subscribe.